here with Vince DiNoto from the Kentucky Community Technical College System. How you doing, Vince?
I'm doing real well today. Thank you, Gordon.
Now, what is it? You do lots of things, but what is your official title?
My official title is that I'm the Dean of College and Systemic Initiatives for Jefferson Community and Technical College, but my president allows me to work for the system, so I work statewide in regional and national interest and things.
Now, which part of Kentucky is Jefferson?
Jefferson's in Louisville, Kentucky, which is the biggest city in Kentucky, and we're the largest community and technical college in the state.
How many community colleges are there in Kentucky?
There are 16 colleges and more than 65 campuses right now. We've got about 85,000 students in the community and technical college system.
Wow, and that's a big state too, isn't it? So you do a lot of, you're in the car a lot probably, moving around.
It is closer to go from Louisville to Toronto, Canada, than it is to go across the state of Kentucky.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow, wow. Now, we've known each other for a long time, I think, starting back probably 10 years ago with
yeah.
Microsoft Working Connections program. You've been involved with the NSF for a long time also. What are you currently involved with? What's your current, what are you into right now? I know, like I said, you're doing lots of things.
Well, with NSF right now, we've got three basic projects. We've got the Kentucky Information Technology Center, which is in its last leg of NSF funding. We're in our 7th year, and that's sort of the end for regional centers from funding standpoint, even though we're going to keep that going in Kentucky with internal money. I'm, of course, working with NCTT and its efforts, but the newest one that I'm working with is the newly funded National Geographic Information Technology Center, which is located out of Corpus Christi. Phil Davis is the PI. I'm one of the co-PIs of that project.
And what kind of things are you doing with that project?
Well, what my goal and what I'll be working with mainly in that project will be curriculum and data warehousing. One of the problems in GIS is there's all this wonderful data out there, but it doesn't match up in coordinate systems. Some of it's in feet, some of it's in meters, some of it's in degrees, and there's different projections. And so a student thinks they know what they're doing, and they haven't learned about projections yet, and they try to go home and lay one set of data on top of another set of data, and it doesn't work. And so a lot of what we'll be doing in the data warehousing will be trying to create common projections for states, at least, so that people can actually lay data easily on top of each other, and also looking at data available for community college administration to use so that they can do better research into what their colleges are really needing and things like that.
Now that's interesting. So there's a lot of GIS opportunity for students, isn't there? I mean, I hear that quite a bit, it seems.
Well, the Department of Labor says it's one of the top 10 growing fields in the United States. It's something in the neighborhood of a $20 billion industry in the United States right now. And most likely, we're going to see growth of it, and it's going to become almost a computer literacy, where we expect people to be able to do emailing and work on the web and work with word processing and spreadsheets. I think we're going to see people having to have a spatial orientation to be able to be fully literate in computer knowledge in the next 5 years.
That's great. And there's good opportunity for students coming out with community college degrees out of these community college programs?
Well, there is degrees opportunities, and that's one of the things that we're going to do research on. How does it match between a bachelor's degree, an associate degree, and just a certificate? Mm-hmm. Because at Jefferson, one of the things that we do is we only have a certificate program. And usually after one GIS class, and the people are usually IT students, they usually end up leaving us and being able to use that as part of their employment reasons to get employed and things. So we don't even have a lot of students finishing up the certificate program. So we're going to do some research. How does this all work? How can we transfer into a 4-year program? How much geography is needed? How much is it really information technology? So is it really the G that's important, or is it really the I that's important, or what combination of both? So those are things that the center will be working on over the next 4 years.
You might have to rename it IGS, huh?
Well, and a lot of people are using GST now,
yeah.
Geographical Spatial Technology, instead of GIS, so that's even changing on what the technology is and things.
That's really interesting. Now, how could people get more information about this work you're doing?
Well, one of the ways to get more information would be just to contact me directly, and my email address is pretty simple. It's vince.dinoto, that's D-I-N-O-T-O, at kctcs.edu. We will have a website up very shortly for the National Center, but it's still in its infancy right now, so I'm really not one to give out the web address yet, but there's not really much there. But if they contact me directly, then I'll contact the appropriate person for them and get them the knowledge that they need and things.
That's great, Vince. I've always been impressed with the work you've done. And your background is actually in physics, isn't it? I mean, that's what your academic background is?
Yes, my academic background is in physics, and actually it's sort of a 30-year cycle, it seems like, because when I did my research, I was doing energy research, and now we're back very big into energy research. And so, you know, everything we're talking about going green, well, 30 years ago we were looking at the same type of situations, but that sort of died out as gas prices went cheap again, but that's probably not going to happen this time, so I think we're going to see a lot more green research going on. And somewhere with what I do with GIS and remote sensing, I'll probably get back into some of the green research I used to do and things.
Yeah, that's great. Physics has been a great foundation for you as you've kind of branched around and moved with the technology. It's pretty neat, pretty impressive. So thank you very much, Vince.
Thank you, Gordon.